The Japanese are admired around the world not only for their long life expectancy, but also for their ability to maintain strong, flexible legs well into their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, while in many Western countries the World Health Organization, WHO, warns that most adults begin to lose leg strength after age 50. In Japan, it's completely normal to see older adults who can still move with independence, balance, and ease. This difference comes from a set of daily movement habits, simple yet incredibly effective exercises that the Japanese repeat every day to fight muscle loss, protect balance, and reduce the risk of falls, the leading cause of lost independence in older adults. The first and most fundamental exercise in Japanese movement culture is the resting squat. Unlike Westerners, who are used to sofas and higher sitting positions, the Japanese treat the deep squat as the body's natural resting posture. What's remarkable is that by simply changing the way they sit, they unintentionally train major muscle groups such as the quads, hamstrings, glutes, and core, the very muscles responsible for standing up, sitting down, and moving with stability throughout daily life. A study from the University of Tokyo found that people over 70 who regularly rest in a deep squat have leg strength comparable to people in their 50s. An impressive testament to how powerful this simple habit truly is. To perform it correctly, stand with your feet shoulder width apart and slowly lower your body into a deep squat until your hips come close to the floor. Keeping your heels firmly planted, maintain a neutral spine, not overly rounded, but not stiffly straight. Beginners over 60 can hold onto a table or chair for support for about 20 seconds. Then gradually increase to 2 to 3 minutes without assistance. You'll know you're doing it right when your thighs feel a gentle stretch without pain in the joints. This exercise doesn't just build strength, it improves circulation, supports digestion, and trains mental endurance. The most common mistake is lifting the heels to make the movement easier. But this reduces the benefits and adds stress to the knees. Practicing just 3 to 5 times a day can bring noticeable changes within weeks. Standing up becomes easier. Walking feels steadier, and the legs grow noticeably stronger. The second exercise the Japanese highly value for maintaining leg strength and stability after age 60 is single-leg standing balance. It may look incredibly simple, but it is one of the most effective ways to protect older adults from falls, a common and dangerous issue during aging. What makes this exercise so remarkable is how strongly it activates the small yet essential stabilizing muscles around the ankles, knees, hips, and core. These are muscles most adults rarely train properly in typical workouts, and they are also the ones that weaken the fastest with age if they are not regularly engaged. The Japanese often weave this exercise into their daily routine, while brushing their teeth, waiting for the elevator, or standing at a train station. Over time, balance training becomes an unconscious habit with long-term benefits. A 10-year study in Japan, referenced in the video, revealed striking results. People who practiced single-leg standing daily reduced their risk of hip fractures by 60%, cut their risk of falling by 40%, and more than 80% reported feeling more confident when walking or standing up from low positions. This is powerful proof of how effective simple, targeted exercises can be. To do the exercise correctly, stand near a wall or table for support if needed. Gently shift your weight onto one leg and lift the other foot just slightly off the ground. There is no need to raise it high. Balance comes from the stabilizing muscles and your neuromuscular control, not from how high you lift your foot. Beginners over 60 should start with 10 to 15 seconds on each leg. Repeated 3 times. As the body adapts, the goal is to hold the position for 60 seconds without support. Common mistakes include lifting the leg too high, causing the hips to tilt, or tensing the shoulders, which disrupts natural movement. The proper form is to keep the shoulders relaxed, lightly engage the core, and focus your gaze on a fixed point in front of you to enhance stability. Practicing just 5 minutes a day can strengthen the legs, sharpen reflexes, and train the body to react quickly when stumbling, slipping, or losing balance in everyday life. The third exercise, known as the horse stance, or kiba dachi in Japanese culture, has a long history in traditional martial arts. Although it originally came from combat training, the stance has been adapted for all ages, especially for adults over 50 and 60, because it builds strength without placing heavy pressure on the joints. This is an isometric exercise, meaning you hold a static position, which forces the muscles to work continuously. As a result, it strengthens the body in a safe, highly effective way. For older adults, the horse stance is especially valuable because it activates several major muscle groups at the same time: the quadriceps, inner thighs, adductors, glutes, and core. These muscles act like the body's support frame, helping maintain balance and making everyday tasks, standing up, sitting down, climbing stairs, and carrying light items, much easier and safer, according to a study published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science. Referenced in the video, older adults who practiced this stance for 12 weeks increased their leg strength by an average of 24%. An impressive result for an exercise that involves no movement. The technique is simple, but it requires patience and focus. Stand with your feet about 1.5 shoulder widths apart. Toes pointing straight forward or slightly outward. Slowly lower your body as if sitting into an invisible chair, keeping your back straight and your core lightly engaged. Your weight should be evenly distributed between both legs, and as you hold the stance you will feel the thighs warming and burning, a clear sign that the exercise is working. For beginners over 60, start with 10 to 15 seconds per hold, repeating 3 times a day. As strength improves, gradually extend the hold to 60 to 90 seconds. The most common mistake is letting the knees go past the toes, which increases pressure on the joints. Another mistake is keeping the hips too high, which reduces the effectiveness of the exercise. The correct stance should create a gentle, muscle burn, without any joint pain. Once comfortable, you can increase the challenge by slightly lifting the heels or adding small pulses while holding the stance. However, this exercise is not recommended for individuals with acute knee injuries. For most older adults, though, it is a powerful, safe, and incredibly effective way to rebuild leg strength, no equipment required. The fourth exercise in the Japanese training method is sampa, an ultra-slow, mindful walking technique often described as the hidden secret that helps older adults in Japan maintain balance, clarity, and sharpness as they age. This is more than a physical exercise. It is also a mental practice that encourages deep awareness of every movement in the body. In sampa, the practitioner pays close attention to the exact sequence of each step: heel right pointing arrow, midfoot right pointing arrow, toes. This slow, intentional movement forces the muscles and nervous system to work together smoothly, dramatically improving proprioception, the body's ability to sense where it is in space. This ability is essential for preventing falls, especially for those over 60. According to research mentioned in the video, after just 3 months of consistent practice, older Japanese adults experienced a 50% increase in blood circulation in the legs, a 40% reduction in falls, a 50% improvement in dynamic balance, the ability to stay stable while moving. Sampa is simple to practice. Find a quiet space such as a hallway, garden, or park. Walk at a pace 4 to 5 times slower than normal, paying full attention to how each part of the foot touches the ground. This awareness strengthens the mind-body connection and reinforces the neural pathways responsible for coordination. Taking one deep breath after every 3 steps is also part of the method, helping calm the body and sharpen focus. For adults over 60, especially those who have experienced balance issues or are in recovery, it's best to begin practicing sampa near a wall or handrail for safety. As confidence grows, you can move to open spaces and add variety by walking on different surfaces like carpet, grass, or stone paths for extra challenge. A common mistake is walking too fast or walking mindlessly, as if it were normal daily movement. But in Sampa, the quality of each step matters far more than the distance covered. Practice just 3 minutes a day. It can make the legs feel stronger, the steps more stable, and the mind noticeably calmer. The fifth exercise in the Japanese system for maintaining leg strength after age 60 is heel raises, a simple movement that delivers tremendous benefits for the entire lower body. The video emphasizes that the calves are considered the body's second heart, because every time the muscles contract, they act like a pump, pushing blood from the veins in the legs back toward the heart against gravity. When the calves become weak, older adults are much more likely to experience poor circulation, ankle swelling, heavy legs, and instability while walking. The Japanese make use of small moments throughout the day to practice heel raises, while brushing their teeth, waiting for the elevator, or standing in line. This consistency is what allows them to maintain strong calves without gyms or complicated equipment. To perform the exercise correctly, stand tall with your feet shoulder-width apart. Slowly lift your heels as high as possible and hold the top position for 1 to 2 seconds to fully activate the gastrocnemius and soleus muscles. Then lower your heels slowly and with control. Moving slowly, on both the upward and downward phases, is the key to effectiveness, because it forces the calf muscles to work continuously instead of relying on momentum. For beginners over 60, the video recommends starting with 2 sets of 15 reps, using a wall or table for balance if needed. As strength improves, increase to 3 sets of 20 reps. Common mistakes include rocking the body forward or backward, using momentum instead of muscle power, and performing the movement too quickly, which prevents proper activation. Controlled pacing is essential. To increase the challenge, you can perform the exercise on a step, allowing the heels to drop below foot level. This expands the range of motion and adds an effective stretch. Another advanced variation is single leg heel raises, which nearly doubles the load on each calf. Besides building muscle strength, regular heel raise training improves circulation, reduces the risk of varicose veins, decreases ankle swelling, and makes walking, standing for long periods, and climbing stairs feel easier, because the calves contain many slow-twitch muscle fibers, which respond best to high repetition. This exercise should ideally be practiced daily, divided into 2 to 3 short sessions for optimal results. The sixth exercise in the Japanese system for maintaining strong, resilient legs after age 60 is the wall sit, a highly safe and effective form of isometric training. In the video, this movement is described as a harmonious blend of physical strengthening and mental focus, making it ideal for older adults as well as middle-aged individuals who want to build leg strength without stressing their joints. Unlike dynamic exercises that require constant movement, the wall sit keeps the body in one fixed position. This activates the quadriceps, glutes, and core intensely, without placing excessive strain on the knees or hips. That's why this exercise appears both in traditional Eastern practices and in modern rehabilitation programs. The video mentions a study of Japanese adults aged 65 to 75, showing that those who practiced wall sits regularly for 8 weeks increased leg strength by an average of 14% and improved stair climbing ability by 27%, with less fatigue and discomfort. To perform it correctly, stand with your back against a wall and your feet about 30 centimeters, roughly 12 inches, forward and shoulder width apart. Slowly slide down until your knees form a 90-degree angle, as if sitting in an invisible chair. The knees must stay aligned over the ankles, never past the toes, to avoid unnecessary pressure on the joints. Throughout the hold, keep your back pressed against the wall, engage your core, and maintain steady breathing. For beginners over 60, start with 15 to 20 seconds per round and perform 3 sets a day. As the body adapts, work up to a full 60-second hold. The correct sensation is a gradual burning in the thighs without any knee pain. A common mistake is holding the breath, which increases tension and forces the heart to work harder. Another mistake is allowing the knees to collapse inward, which reduces stability and strains the joints. To increase difficulty, you can place a small ball or pillow between the knees and squeeze gently during the hold. This activates the adductors and engages the core even more. Practiced consistently, wall sits not only strengthen the legs but also build mental endurance, something the Japanese believe plays an important role in healthy aging. These 6 Japanese exercises show that strong legs after age 60 aren't a matter of luck, they are the result of daily, intentional movement, from deep squats and single-leg stands to wall sits and slow, mindful walking. Each exercise is simple yet deeply effective in strengthening muscles, improving balance, and boosting circulation. When practiced consistently, they help older adults stay independent, reduce the risk of falls, and keep the body flexible and steady over the years. Consistency is the key to staying strong and aging well, just like the Japanese.